You are listening to Visionaries Wrestling Network, providing your perfect podcast experience.
M is for Mason.
G is for Graham.
B for Thatcher.
This is the MGB Wrestling Podcast, the podcast with PG-rated material accessible to wrestling fans of all ages. Hi, my name is Mason, and here's proof that wrestling fans still live with their parents, my co-host, my dad, Graham.
So this is B1, Ain't That a Kick in the Head, which was at the Annandale Volunteer Fire Department on Friday, February 15th, 2019. And as B1 suggests, this was actually the first event of 2019 for Nova Pro. Doors opened at 7 p.m. Pre-show started at 7:30, and the main show started at 8 p.m. All right, let's go back in time a little bit before that. Normally we talk about the ride up there. Let's actually back up a week before that, okay? All right, what preparations did we make for this one then, Mason? We were kind of excited by this one.
We actually made 3 signs. One that said, "Welcome to Nova Pro." Mm-hmm. Another one that said, "Please come back." Mm-hmm. And another one that said, "Is it safe to watch yet?"
Yeah, and one of those was at my suggestion. We should say the last one was basically for Joey Ryan. You've been asking for a while, and I just hadn't told you anything at all about his matches, what his character was, or anything at all. We talked about getting a blindfold for you, which you didn't really like the idea of, but you played along with it anyway. So we made that sign, and we thought it made sense to get signs that we can reuse over and over again. Like, we knew that Kris Statlander was coming, and she was debuting. We knew Joey Ryan was debuting, so we figured we could get some use for that one. And same with the Please Come Back as well. There's plenty of times when that happens, so we thought that that actually made sense. We were organised on streamers this time as well. We got those. And we also had the jerseys arrive for 2019. Mine says Nova Pro 20. Yours says Wrestling 19. So as long as we sit the right way around, it says Nova Pro Wrestling 2019. And I thought those jerseys looked good.
Yeah.
It wasn't too cold, thankfully, because that thing with the hockey jerseys, they were nice in the winter. But once it got to the summer, it was kind of warm in those. So I think these are going to be a lot better for that. Not much traffic for this one. We got there fairly quickly, actually. About 6:45. Not many people. They're all kind of hanging at the back, though. It was kind of weird, because we walked in, but we're like, I don't want to stand right at the front, because it looks like we're sort of line jumping a little bit. And by the time other people walked in then, it looked like we were line jumping. I don't like that setup at the start. I wish they had a sign that said, like, just put a paper thing up above that says, pre-bought front row, pre-bought general admission, and then like everybody else. And then you could sort of, because we were crisscrossing, and there were so many people in that little area at the end, once they finally did open the doors. It was kind of tough to actually get in.
And people went outside.
People were outside as well, and it's a little difficult to start. But anyway, we got to our seats. We were fairly quick. We got let in, and we managed to do that. Anything you noticed through the windows? Because you can always see stuff going on ahead of time at the fire center, which is why I kind of like that one.
There wasn't anything too noticeable, but just, Terra Calaway looks a little different.
She did. I didn't recognize her at all. Yeah.
And I saw Joey Ryan through the window without even knowing it.
Yes, and because your comment was he looked like Bobby Roode. Mm-hmm. But yes, I'm trying to think what else we saw through the... And there was a lot of... Actually, they ran over a little bit. It said doors open at 7, but there were still people in the ring at nearly 7:05 trying to do something. I said, well, they're not going to let us in until they've obviously finished their moves. And then everyone sort of slid out, and then we got in. So, once we did get inside...
I remember another thing. You thought Terminator was having a beer when it was a coffee.
Oh, I did. That's because my eyesight's not as good as it should be. I saw the white top, and I thought it was the head of a beer, and you were like, no, that's a coffee. And it was just the lid on the coffee. I'd forgotten about that. I didn't think he would, because I was like, that doesn't make sense that John would actually do that, but that's what it looked like. I was like, it was like he's having a cold one before the matches, but no, he wasn't. It was definitely as soon as you said it was a coffee, my brain sort of processed, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a coffee cup. That makes sense. So once we got inside, we got front row seats. We went to where we like to sit normally. We like to sit behind the main camera, looking straight at the action. So we managed to get those seats. And immediately, as soon as we start sitting down, someone starts talking trash to you.
Yep, Josh Fuller.
Can you remember what he said?
I don't really remember too much. All I remember was he was saying something that I was smaller than him.
Which is true.
But I said something about that I would be bigger than him someday.
That's true. I seem to remember also wasn't he drinking an energy drink?
Yeah.
Because somebody made fun of him for that as well, and they said, you can have an energy drink, but you're not old enough to drink a real beer or something. I think somebody made fun of him for that, which is kind of like the Hoppy Place comment as well. We actually went to the back, and we did talk to him. As Josh Fuller appeared on episode 34 of MGB, when we reviewed Crab Wrestling, we asked him if he would do a little introduction section for us, and I think we'll probably insert this clip in around now, just so we don't have to do as much talking. We've got some Nova Pro people to put little segments into our show for us.
My name is Josh Fuller. I am legally an adult. I hate Mason, and you're listening to the MGB Wrestling Podcast.
Oh, I know one other thing he said. I just remembered. I asked him, I said, you don't hate Jackson though, do you? Because he said he hated Mason. That was one of the things he said. Mm-hmm. And he was like, did I beat him in the quiz? I was like, yeah, you beat him. And he's like, oh yeah, I don't hate him then in that case. So he likes Jackson right now. Perhaps when Jackson goes, he might not. And we put all the stuff down. We saw Joey Ryan was there. And I wasn't sure if sometimes those stars, they come out at the start. Sometimes they don't appear at intermission. Or I figured it'd be busy at intermission as well, because I knew he was a big star. So I said, do we want to go now? Do we want to do the picture with you holding the sign that says, is it safe for me to look yet? And the blindfold on. Because if you do, it spoils the illusion once the match comes on. Because originally we were thinking he would come out probably after the mission. We were going to do it so he came out, he saw all that, and I thought that was kind of funny. But we agreed we'd go and do it now, got the picture. Really nice guy. Really nice guy. Yeah, we got the picture, and then we're like, we got the autograph, and then it's like, how much for a picture? And it's like, oh, if you're buying something, you don't pay extra. Some charge, some don't. He didn't, which was really cool. And then we did our first, I think that's our first staged picture, really. Yeah. Normally we just do a straightforward picture.
Sue Young.
Oh, I guess Sue Young was, but that was more her deciding to do that. Like, I didn't know she was going to pretend to strangle us.
True.
So that's kind of true. So you had the sign on, you had the mask on, and you said that actually you were looking the wrong way. I was like, well, yeah, because you didn't know what you were doing. He retweeted it, and a few other people did. As of 24 hours after the event, it had 100 likes. So I told you, I thought it was a funny idea. Because you weren't really buying into it, but you're like, I don't know. But you trusted me on this one.
I didn't really know about it because it would look like people... You said that people would laugh at it.
Well, because it was funny. Well, it was funny because it was an 11-year-old boy who it's not safe for him to watch. And you had no idea what his theme was at all at this point. And I went out and actually took the picture to the car because we didn't want to get it creased. And then as I walked out, I noticed that he has his T-shirts there. We're going to be very careful about what words we choose. I think we might go with, how about a dingo wrestler?
Dingo wrestler.
There you go. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness, now he'll know. And I guess, was it Zach who had a word with you? He told you basically what his theme was, right?
No.
I thought somebody told you.
I saw it on the guy's T-shirt.
Oh, that's when it was. But certainly when I came back, it was obvious that you knew a little bit. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was kind of good. But yeah, a lot of people at this event. Mm-hmm. I'd heard them say ahead of time that it was probably going to be their biggest pre-show sale, and still crowd coming in at 7:25, 25 minutes later. As I went to put the picture in the car for Joey Ryan, I could barely get out. People were snaked around the outside. It was really difficult to actually do. And people were still coming in almost as we got to the first pre-match. So, pre-match 1. You actually called this one. I knew it was J Money, and I couldn't find the other name, and I think you said it was Alexander Dean.
Yeah.
I went back and looked. It was Alexander Dean, because there was a picture of those two with referee Chris Sharp. So you were right. You called this one perfectly. They're both from Ireland as well, apparently. I didn't realise that. Alexander Dean, according to Twitter, he's the 4th best wrestler in Ireland. Oh, according to Declan Byrne. I have no idea who Declan Byrne is, but I would say that's still pretty good. If I asked you to name...
Finn Balor? No.
Well, I would say Finn Balor and Becky Lynch should be pretty high on that list, right?
Finley.
Well, there you go.
Hornswoggle.
And if he's 4th on that list, I would say that. When I first looked at that, I was like, that sounds a bit insulting. And I quickly figured, I was like, that's a really big compliment, actually. I guess any country if you were the 4th best wrestler. All right, what can you tell us about this match, then?
J Money comes out with fake money in his pants.
I hope it was fake money. If he didn't, he gave a lot of money out to the crowd. He was rolling off the bills.
He had $100 bills.
We didn't get one. We really wanted one as a souvenir.
Yeah, he gives it to the crowd.
We didn't get one.
Dean does a Cesaro swing to J Money, and J Money's there with the money and just throwing it out while he's doing the Cesaro swing.
He was.
And then J Money, he goes to do the chops, except he gets a dollar bill in his hands and then chops him, and then it's about to the bills are sticking to him.
One of them did stick. That third one stuck for about a second, I have. I got one thing before this, right at the start of the match. He actually offered his opponent money to lie down. So he could just pin him straight away. And I think he offered the ref some money as well. And the ref was like, no, I'm not doing that. But yeah, that whole money thing was there.
Chris Sharp did get money, though.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
He also referred to himself as the $1 billion booty. I did see that. And that was also mentioned on Twitter as well. I think we can just about get away with that comment.
He licked one of the dollars, too, when he chopped.
To try and make him stick a little bit. Oh, that was clever. I thought this match was very entertaining. I don't actually have many moments for this one at all. The only thing I have is something for after the match.
Yeah, me too.
So, do you have anything else for this match?
No.
Only thing I do remember is, I'm pretty sure J Money won.
Yes, he did.
And what we should say, normally I'll check all this stuff on PW Ponderings. It's nearly 48 hours later. It's not been posted yet. So these are all as far as we can remember, okay? Okay, go ahead. What have we got for after the match then?
I raised my please come back sign and he pointed at it and said yes, yes, yes.
He said yes, young man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he was really into that. And I was glad straight away that we had that sign. Sometimes those pre-match ones, it's sometimes more inexperienced wrestlers. And it sort of gets the crowd going a little bit. I was pumped after that match. I was like, my goodness, if this is pre-show match 1, we're going to have a heck of a night tonight. And definitely, I would like to see him come back. And hopefully he does. I did have a quote from him, actually, on Twitter, at JMoneyWorldwide. Packed house and hot crowd for an incredible show with at VA Wrestling tonight. He was sort of, the curtain at the back where the concessions are. He'd obviously taken a picture through there, and you could see there was a lot of people in the house. And a lot of people who were very excited as well. Now, before we get to match 2, there was something that happened in between that. Okay, and you're pointing at me? Okay. Erica Leigh came on the microphone. Now, we knew who that was, because I'd actually heard the Big Gold Belt podcast. So she was Emma Lou. She was injured, and during her rehab, she decided to come back as a new character, and Erica Leigh, I'm sorry. And her big thing is she's like a 90s child. I think that's supposedly her big thing. And there was a lot of hecklers in this one. Normally the crowd are pretty positive. There were some really mean people behind us, actually, or I thought they were. They were shouting out, while she was trying to do her promo, there was a lot of comments coming out, like, you suck, and I was like, oh my gosh. I thought that was kind of tough. Now, I thought it was kind of strange, though, because even regulars there didn't recognize who it was straight away. We knew who it was, because we recognized the name, but some people just didn't. I think the glasses was probably one part of that. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they could have announced it ahead of time, like, hey, I guess you don't want to give the old character away. But yeah. Now, the part that I did miss from this, and I only caught later, is I knew she had an open challenge. Yeah. I thought it was for her. It was actually for Bo Crockett and the main attraction. So I guess she's working with them. Mm-hmm. And I did see on Twitter she had a picture from Saturday where she was with Jake Hollister. So also I know that's part of that team as well. So yeah, she's obviously working with them now. So we'll see what happens with that in coming stories. But I'm guessing if they give her a promo like that, that's obviously going to be a recurring thing. All right, pre-match 2. We had Jeff Cannonball and Mack Buckler.
Jeff has a lot of scars on his arm.
Jeff's had some pretty crazy matches in his life, from what I've heard.
Okay. Mack tries to lift up Jeff, and he says, nope, too fat.
Yeah, I don't know what Jeff's weight was listed at, but I know it was at least 300 pounds.
And then there was somebody in the crowd that yelled, that's a bad life choice for you.
Yeah.
Like that.
Now, I've actually got a few things for this. As you're going straight into the match, let me back up a little bit.
Okay.
We saw Andy was ref for this one. Uh-huh. So I think that told us straight away that Andy wasn't going to be doing any announcing for this one. We knew Lolo did the pre-match last time, and then Andy did the main show. As far as I can tell, because we watched it on Powerbomb TV. So we pretty much figured that Lolo was going to be doing the announcer for the whole show, and that's exactly what happened. So it was kind of confusing for a little bit, seeing, whoa, Andy's the ref? Like, whoa. Anyway, it all took care of itself. Now, we actually have seen Jeff Cannonball at Nova Pro. Now, when I say see, we're actually in the middle of going back through the classic shows, or the original shows, and starting to do reviews for those. We've not got very far. We did one last year. We're on show 2 right now. And Jeff Cannonball was in that. It was Dan O'Hare, George Gatton, and Jeff Cannonball defeated Brandon Greene, Prakash Sabah, and Rayo.
Yeah, Anthony Greene.
Brandon Greene is Money Greene.
Brandon Greene is Money.
Correct. And that was how he was known there. And Jeff also appeared at the 3rd and the 4th event as well. This was the 38th event. Remember the last show was called 37 in a row?
Yeah.
That's a long gap.
Mm-hmm.
So he did 2, 3, 4, and then we haven't seen him till the 38th event. I thought that was kind of strange. The thing I thought you were going to mention, but didn't, is Jeff Cannonball's connection with one of the other Nova Pro wrestlers.
Yeah, Terra Calaway. That's his wife, I think.
Correct. It is, as far as I can tell as well. From what I've seen on Twitter as well. That was my understanding anyway. And she was on the outside. She was certainly watching some of the match. She was talking with Harlow as well. And I thought to begin with, I was like, that's kind of strange. I thought you'd watch the match. And then I suddenly realised they've probably been together for years. She's probably seen hundreds of his matches. So you probably don't want to see everyone. But obviously you want to check to make sure they're okay. And she was checking in and out. What else do you have for this match?
Mack actually slams Jeff. And that's all I have.
The one thing I did have right with the start was Jeff's character was kind of like a big baby. And when he came in there, he was sort of like complaining and asking everyone to stop making noise. It was like, stop, no, I can't, no. He was kind of really high pitched. He was like a big 3-year-old.
During the intermission, Lolo said that we had like 6 minutes, and Jeff yells that you have 6 minutes to buy my merch.
Oh, he did? I missed
really
that.
Loud.
Yeah, he definitely got attention when he was talking about that.
He yells us stuff a lot.
The only thing I have is actually the ending.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mack Buckler was actually in control of the match, and then he got distracted, and then he was rolled up, but he got rolled up way too easy. I honestly thought, he's going to kick out here, and he didn't. It was like 1, 2, 3. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, and that was it. And then they left, and they announced, Lolo came out again, announced that there was 5 minutes before the 8 o'clock official start, and that takes us straight into main match 1 now. So main match 1 was a 6-man scramble featuring Mikey Banker, who were accompanied with Ariel and Nix, John Kerman, Eddie Only, Shotzi Blackheart, Innocent Isaiah, and Steve Manders, and that's as far as I can tell who the 6
Cross
people
Steve
were.
Anders out and make him grandpa style.
Oh, we forgot about that in the intro. I looked at him and I just thought he had his, well, not his trunks, but they looked like they were pulled up really high, but it was just, overalls. But yeah, it looked like he was a grandpa style to begin with. Well, we saw him in the ring and didn't even recognize him. Because one, he had a big moustache. I think he had the cowboy hat on as well.
Yeah.
And he totally changed his look since last time we saw him. Yeah, I did not recognize Steve Manders at all. Well, I did, because I said, because we saw the people in the ring. And I was like, I thought Steve Manders was in this one. And I was like, well, that's not Steve Manders. And it was. Yeah,
he rips off his overalls, and then on his underwear it says, somebody called Manders.
Yeah, his look was very different. And when we get to a later match, we'll talk about somebody else whose look was kind of different for this one as well. Now, having said a 6-man scramble, I actually read out the name Shotzi Blackheart. So let me read her tweet from February 15th. Sorry to disappoint y'all, but my better half can't make it, so he is sending daddy. That's being Trip Cassidy. Now, we talked about Trip Cassidy, and you were like, I don't know who that is. And I'm like, I'm sure we know who Trip Cassidy is. I went back and looked. He was in the Torneo Cybernetico.
Oh.
I knew I'd recognise the name, but couldn't think why. I think he was part of the Carnies originally as well. I think that was it. I knew the name.
Is he the clown guy?
Not sure. That part I don't remember.
I think that's
but that would make sense and to fit it in. But I knew I recognised the name, but I couldn't piece it together, so I had to go back and look it up.
I think I know who that is now.
Okay. All right. What do you have for this match?
Innocent Isaiah, he gave his rose to Maddie.
He did?
Yeah.
Well, okay, I only have one thing for this, so let me back up, because otherwise that makes no sense at all. Mikey was given a bunch of flowers. I think it was from Eddie Only, but I'm not quite sure.
No, it was from Isaiah for you.
Oh, they were all from...
Innocent Isaiah.
They were all from Innocent Isaiah. And then when he's sort of holding that, and then somebody gave him a big kick, and the flowers went up in the air, the petals went up in the air.
I thought he hit Isaiah with them.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, he hit him in the face with all the flowers and then it exploded.
Oh, I knew they went all over the place. I thought he got a super kick. Oh, wow. Well, I didn't write that part down. I was doing that part from memory. And I did put there was roses right next to us. And I was kind of surprised you didn't take a souvenir. Because I was like, you going to take a rose petal? And you're like, nah.
It would die and then, get all over my rose.
That's not stopped you taking disgusting things before. But I thought you would do that. There was some kind of grassy bits in there that acted like a fan. And I know people picked those up and used those in later matches as well. But yeah.
So, two wrestlers are on the outside. One dives. They all get up. Then another one dives. They'll get up. Then another one dives. And then they all get up. And then the last one dives. That was pretty cool. And then Shotzi wins and dedicates her win to Trip Cassidy.
Correct. And there was so much going on in these matches. I find the 6-man matches really difficult to write stuff down. Kind of similar when it's Ducklings tag team matches. There's so much going on. It's really difficult to single out single things. And the only thing I have to finish this up with then is a quote from Trip Cassidy himself on Twitter. He put, if I have to come take my spot from her, I will. Somebody basically said, so does that mean Shotzi's in the Commonwealth Cup now? Because this was a qualifying match. And I think everyone just assumed that she would just give the spot to Trip. I don't think that's been decided yet, but Tripp's made it very clear, I want to be in the Commonwealth Cup. So we'll have to see what happens. I kind of hope Shotzi doesn't give it up now. I think that would be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I think that'd be very exciting. Main match 2. This was announced as a tag team match to begin with. Mm-hmm. And then the music started playing, and you're really good at these. And you're like, that's Isaiah Frazier. And we're like, in a tag team match? I'm like, I don't think. I knew some of the matches. And sure enough, Isaiah Frazier came out. And then Sage Phillips came out, and I was very confused. And it wasn't a tag team match at all. It was just for the title match.
That was all I have until, obviously the Flying V feud was out the door. Because Sage wasn't a heel. But he wasn't doing heel stuff. He was
a little heelish at the end, but in general, no, it didn't follow on from the Flying V Theatre. Not that it has to, but we were kind of confused, because they have a big rivalry just from that first event. And I wasn't sure, but no, clearly that had no backstory to this match at all. They had the title match, and it sounds like you don't have much for this one then.
I only have the end.
Okay. I did get a great picture of Isaiah and Sage. I was there with the camera taking pictures. He had his headlock between his legs, and you can see Sage leaning back and like, "Arr!" And you can see Isaiah's eyes sort of rolling in his head. It looks really cool. He put on a good submission move, that one. A lot of athletic stuff again with this one. I like watching both of these characters. Isaiah Frazier just gets better and better each time I see him. He really knows how to pump a crowd up as well. I like Sage as well. Great technical wrestler. He had some great matches with Jonathan Gresham as well. Those kind of characters, I could watch their matches all day. I think they're really good. I have something for after the match, so if you want to give the finish then.
So, Sage Phillips retains with an O'Connor roll. Mm-hmm. I've been hearing that a lot now.
And I spotted that one. I didn't write it down, but I said to you, I was like, oh, look, there's an O'Connor roll. It was funny. I'd not heard it mentioned in like 3 years. After the match, someone shouted to Sage, like, you got lucky. And then Sage pointed to his brains and was like, not lucky. So like he used his head. Mm-hmm. And so I can't remember. Did he grab the pants then when he actually rolled him up? That part I couldn't tell. I thought he just did a good move, and I realised I'd obviously missed something in the finish for that then.
I'm Rob Killjoy.
I'm Lance Lude.
And I'm Coach Mikey. And we are the Ugly Ducklings.
And you're listening to the
MGB Wrestling Podcast. Quack, 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 quack.
All right, main match 3. It's Big Beef. It's Jake Garvin, I think, right?
Yes.
And Satu Jinn versus the Ugly Ducklings.
So what I have is it's Rob versus Big Beef. And then Rob, he says, I want Satu Jinn. And he,
I want the big guy.
Yeah, I want the big guy. And then Big Beef, he tags in Jinn. Jinn absolutely squashes Rob, mm-hmm. and then he tags in, and then Rob says, "I want Big Beef," and then Satu Jinn, he goes out, tags Big Beef, then pouts in the corner.
Okay, now it was also this match. I noticed the person who was dressed up as a captain, and he was holding signs. Can mm-hmm. you remember any of those signs, Mason?
Winning is fun. This is trophy size, and mm-hmm. it was a Stanley Cup. Mm-hmm. It's only illegal if the ref sees it. Mm-hmm. I'm holding a sign.
That's what I remember more than anything else.
He's big, he's strong. I remember there was a...
You did quite well then. There was one sign, didn't it just say 2 as well? Yeah, that one we won't talk about. That one we're going to ignore. Okay, I know exactly which one you're talking about. So he had at least 7 signs then. Anyway, I found out who that was. His name is Captain Obvious, mm-hmm. And he's a huge Nationals fan. So I had not seen him at any of those events before, but that was something I noticed specifically at this match fan? Before we started. A wrestling fan?
Yeah.
I'm going to guess if he's at a wrestling match, yeah.
Was he, hired? Or was
I don't think so.
Did he pay to just come as a fan?
I think he just came to come as a fan. But he is a Nationals fan, so he obviously lives in this area.
But he's holding the signs up.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's his thing. I guess he might do that at Capitals games as well. At Nationals games, I mean. He might do it at Capitals games as well, actually, for all I know. Now, I actually have something before the match. Mikey almost slipped on a streamer. He was right near us, and and afterwards everyone was like, whoa, careful, safety first. And he sort of lifted his leg up very gradually, and then he actually stomped on it, and then he did a DX move as well, which you're showing me with your hands right now as well. I thought that was kind of funny as well. There was a Duck Duck Goose, not much after when you talked about kick out at 1. I was like, woof. I was like, that's kind of brutal after putting in all those moves just to get a kick out at 1. Okay, what else you got?
Mikey Banker, he came in and he interfered with the...
All right, I got something before that then. All right, there was It was close to the end, and there was actually a suicide dive, and one of them wasn't enough, and then the other duck came out, did a suicide dive, and with the two of them together, it was enough to tip them over. And then they did the same thing on the other side of the ring as well. One of them did the suicide dive, not enough, because they're big guys. They just caught them midair, and then the second one came in, and the weight together tipped them over.
Satu Jinn almost sat on top of me.
He did?
Yeah.
That might have not been very good for you. Was that one of the times when you moved out of the way?
300 pounds now.
Yeah, he's a big guy. He's a big guy. Then actually, I thought the ropes were further back today on the one that we went to.
I think we just haven't seen the ring.
There was a bigger gap between the edge of the ring and where the tape was.
I think we've been too busy watching Flying V.
Possibly, but I thought it definitely looked like a bigger distance. That might have actually been the only time then you were in any danger, because although we normally sit there and we normally know we're a target, there wasn't actually many times when people came to the outside.
Yeah, there was only that there was a couple of suicides and a 6-man scramble, and then Shotzi Blackheart, she jumped, but it wasn't over jump. She just got thrown a little to the back, and it just.
And there was somewhere they got took out, and then they sort of rolled towards us, and which is no danger at all. But yeah, no, we weren't really in the firing line anywhere near as much for this one. All right, Mikey Banker comes in.
That he does something to the Ducks. Then Coach Mikey, he punches Coach Mikey, and then Mikey's knocked out. Ariella Nix comes in, and then she knocks out Coach Mikey.
All right, I got something slightly different for that, unless you're getting the names mixed up a little bit. He told Coach Mikey that he was too fat to be a coach.
Yeah.
And then Coach drilled him with a foot to the face and took Mikey Banker out. But then, yeah, there was definitely a stunner from Ariella Nix, for sure. Only thing I have after that is Launchpad McQuack for the win.
Yeah.
And you pretty much know that's going to... I love that move. That's so cool to watch. And that should be the end of the match, but there's a little bit more.
Then Money Greene and Sin comes out. I really like Money Greene. He has a fistful of pennies, and then he just punches Rob.
It's cheaper than using bills, that's for sure.
He punches Rob, and then all the pennies come flying out.
It's a good effect.
Yeah.
It does look good. Rob looked seriously injured. I know they had an extra ref come out, and sometimes you don't know. I've never seen Rob do that before.
No.
Normally they get up pretty quick. They take a lot of punishment, but they normally get up pretty quickly. And I was genuinely worried for Rob on that one. I was
He looked fine after the event, though.
He looked fine after the event, which was good to see. And the thing that was strange was, I actually thought Sin and Money Greene were actually listed to actually face the Ugly Ducklings. I wasn't actually expecting them to face the two people they did in the end. So I don't know if something got switched there.
Yeah.
Card subject to change is always what they say, but I thought that was going to be switched.
I wonder if one of them got injured or something.
Possibly. Don't know. That's definitely a possibility. Now, we'd had 2 pre-show matches at this point, 3 regular matches, so 5 matches, and I was like, oh, probably intermission. We always joke about that. It's always the Ducklings and it's the intermission. No intermission. They kept going. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, well, technically, it only would have been the 3rd match.
Okay, but we had, I guess so. I guess we just had a break in between, a 5-minute break and then 3 matches. But I figured there'd probably be at 10 matches, so I figured intermission at 5, halfway. They kept going. Match 4. Oh, before they could start this one, they had to sweep the ring. I guess it was partly those pennies, possibly.
Yes.
And the crowd was going, to sweep. I like that one. I think that's clever. Match 4 was Anthony Greene and the Platinum Honeys. That was the 2 women who accompanied him. Tim Donst. Safety first, Tim Donst, I should say as well. And the Platinum Honeys, I did find out their names. Evie Rogerson, who's at Ava Everett. And Angel Sinclair, who's at Angel_Sinclair. Okay.
I have something before the match.
Okay.
So, you know when one of the safety people, they get on their hands and knees, and then Tim Donst, how he gets up to the apron? That's not very safe, you putting all your weight on his back.
It's not safe at all. You could easily slip. It's not a solid surface, because the back obviously bends if you use a step.
And it would hurt.
I would agree. I think it was Eddie only.
Eddie only.
Yeah, I think he was the safety person. I don't remember what his... I'm trying to remember. Isn't he the one with a clever name? I can't remember.
Caution Kyle?
No, that's, supposedly somebody who looks like Breaux Keller, because Breaux Keller says it's not him. It was somebody who had a really clever name. I can't remember what it is now. It was a really good pun.
Oh, it was something with trash can in it.
I don't know. I don't remember that. I looked up, and Anthony Greene I was a little worried about as well. We'd already talked about Joey Ryan. Anthony Greene has a reputation where he could do something that's a little controversial. Let's say it like that right now. He's actually listed on Twitter as the Uncle Jesse of pro wrestling. And I was trying to remember...
Uncle Jesse from Fuller House, I think.
Correct, but I was trying to remember who was the other Nova pro wrestler? Remember everyone was chanting Uncle Jesse? I think he's one of the main attractions, but I can't remember.
It was Breaux Keller.
It wasn't Breaux Keller.
I mean, not Breaux Keller, Beau Crockett.
It wasn't Beau Crockett either. It was somebody who was teaming with Beau Crockett, but I can't remember
Paul?
who it was. No, it might be. I can't remember what his name is.
It's not Jake Hollister, so it's
Paul.
Paul.
Not Jake Hollister, no.
Paul.
Okay, all right, I'll go with you on that one. I should have said for this one as well. As Tim comes in, we both had safety hats for this one. And we also got a safety vest, Kara and Maddie. Thanks for doing that again, Maddie. Our little section, she always makes sure she looks after. And they were a big chance of safety first. And Anthony Greene says, "You guys shut up," which I think is normally the pretty standard heel move for anyone who faces safety first, that you've got to reject it and say that it's dumb.
Tim Donst, he threw away Anthony Greene, his armband in the trash.
I couldn't tell if it was an armband or a headband. I couldn't remember.
Know
but yeah, he did. He sort of held it over where Eddie is standing, and it was like, whoa! And then he just dropped it in there. Before that, actually, Anthony Greene ripped his pants off as well.
Yes.
He grabbed him on the side and then just went whoosh, and then he was sort of ready for his wrestling. So there was a few little things going on in this one.
So Tim Donst, he puts Anthony Greene on a chair, and then he runs around the ring, and then he's like, he slows down, then punches Anthony Greene.
No, he didn't.
Or he did.
No,
like
he did
something
not.
to
No,
Anthony
you
Greene.
forgot. Okay, well, I got this moment anyway. Now, I said as he was running around the ring, look, his shoelace is undone. And I was like, this is going to be exactly the same as what happened at Flying V. In a different scenario, but as soon as I noticed the shoelace was undone, I was like, he's going to tie the shoelace. And he did. He stopped. He tied his shoelace. Now, after the shoelace is tied, perhaps once he's safe, perhaps then he actually did what you said. I still thought it was funny.
Yes.
I don't think I would ever not think that's funny.
And then the honey, whatever.
The platinum honeys.
Yes. And they like, he was safe, and then it's like they want to kiss him or something, and then they put Listerine.
They used Listerine. There was chants from the crowd of "that's not safe," which I thought was hilarious. And they had the Listerine there. And what happened with the Listerine?
They spit it at Tim Donst and Eddie Only in the eyes, and then they
That obviously partially blinds them. But somebody said next to us, that must really sting. And I'm thinking, yeah, that must, unless it wasn't Listerine. I'm guessing it wasn't Listerine. I can't imagine that being good for your eyes. You could have a Listerine bottle with like coloured water inside. But yeah, actual Listerine I'm sure would be terrible for your eyes. That can't be
But
good
it
at
actually did smell like mint.
all. Oh, you're right. There was a smell of mint. I forgot about that. Perhaps it was then. I guess you could close your eyes if you know it's coming and then just pretend that it went in your eyes. I hadn't thought about that at all.
Well,
all right, do you want to talk about the most memorable moment in this match?
So what happened is Tim Donst, he goes for an O'Connor roll, and then he pulls the tights too much, and then his butt hangs out for a long time.
Now, see, I don't know if that... I thought to begin with, I was like, oh, that was an accident. I don't know if that was planned or not. I think it must have been planned. But yeah, like you said, it was a long time. Now, luckily, we had that sign, like, is it safe to look yet? So I got it straight out, and I was holding it up. Obviously, people on our row couldn't see what it was, but people on the other side could definitely see what it was. And you played along with it for a little bit. And then it was like 30 seconds, a minute, and it was still going. I'm like, what the heck?
I wanted to see.
Yo, you could see was his wrestling and his butt was hanging out. I was like, oh my gosh. That was an image that I didn't particularly want to see. It was funny though. It's like, I can't believe he wouldn't why wouldn't you just stop, pull your pants up, and then carry on wrestling? But he just carried on. In the end, Tim Donst actually got some tape. I think it was duct tape, and then just taped it to his back to keep his pants up.
But then the tape falls off.
I thought it was a funny moment. I don't think that's something that I don't think I'll ever forget from Nova Pro. Anything else from this one?
I have that Gator Pit. They come out and attack Tim Donst.
Okay, I got one thing before that. Anthony Greene's on the top rope. He looks like he's going to dive on Tim Donst, and Tim Donst does an RKO from nowhere. Tim's about to get a 3 count, but that's when Coach Gator appears from under the ring, and he drags the ref off of him, and then we can come back to your part.
And then the Gator Pit come out and start attacking Tim, and Anthony Greene basically gets a 3, and now he's in the Commonwealth Cup. But then they keep attacking, so Isaiah Frazier comes out with a pipe, and he scares them away with the pipe.
Now, the thing we found out with this as well, if I remember correct, isn't Jeff Cannonball now part of the Gator Pit as well?
Yes.
So we found that part out as well.
So, Gator, he makes a proposal to Tim Donst that at Born to Run, it would be his 6 versus Gator's 6.
Oh, I thought it was 5-on-5. Well, whatever it is.
5-on-5.
But yeah, you're right. They challenged him to a match at the that event there. Now, I do have I have a quote from at the Coach Gator. So for all the filthy at VA Wrestling vagrants who keep asking, Yes, I hid under that ring for the entire kickoff show and the start of the main show. Hashtag no regrets. This was actually about 9 o'clock when this match actually finished, or a little bit after. So the pre-show started at 7. He was under the ring for at least 2 hours. That's a long time.
You have your phone.
Well, I don't know right now.
But...
Oh, I see. Oh, I thought you meant me.
He has his phone.
I guess so, but you've got to lie down. It's not the most comfortable. It's a hard
and
floor.
He probably can't... So when did you start those 2 hours? At bell time?
Well, assuming he went in at 7 o'clock, he might have been like, all right, it's time. I didn't see him anywhere in that arena.
No.
He might have got there 6 o'clock and gone under, so nobody could see and go, oh, look, there's Coach Kidder. Oh, why is he going under the ring? He must have gone in there even earlier than that, so it was at least 2 hours, but I thought that was kind of impressive.
Actually, I saw him through the window.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
okay.
I sort of remember, but then I wasn't, like, looking for him, so I didn't know he obviously went under the ring at the other side.
Now, I wasn't sure on the finish. You said that Anthony Greene won. I honestly wasn't sure who actually won. I know that after they beat up Tim Donst, they rolled him back into the ring. And Anthony Greene went for the pin, but there was no ref. He actually had a 13 count, but eventually he kicked out of it. Oh, I did put at the end, Tim loses, but I'm not quite sure how. So there was another bit on there where I guess the second ref must have come out, or the other ref finally recovered. I'm not quite sure which was which. I have one quote from Anthony Greene, which doesn't make much sense to me, and I'm not sure if you'll understand this either. At Retro AG, it was really cool wrestling in the 1993 WCW ring.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I don't know. I know he's a retro person, but I'm not sure if they were the same colours.
What is retro?
I like old school. I like people who like things that happened in the past and they keep doing them sort of now. Yeah, I don't know.
It would make sense if it was in the 2300 arena, but this was in a regular field.
I don't know. Obviously, our WCW fans now will be going, oh god, these guys are idiots. We didn't watch WCW, so we got no idea. All right, and then they still didn't take an intermission. Even then, I was like, oh my gosh. And then Match 5, Joey Ryan versus Harlow O'Hara. So I'm kind of glad that we did get the picture with Joey when we did, but we having already gone through that point, I don't think we did hold the sign up at this point. I don't think you did wear
I wanted to see it.
Yes, you wanted to see that. And I was like, that's fine. I said, you don't have to do it. I was like, we got a picture. That was the important thing. You got to use it against Anthony Greene anyway. I did give you one warning months ago about this. I was like, do not take Joey Ryan's lollipop. And you're like, why? And I was like, I'm not telling you. So
I asked if he would put it in my mouth. What? Well, he has it in his mouth and then he puts it in my mouth. But you said no.
Oh, I don't remember you saying that at all. Everyone went crazy for the lollipop, which I'd warned you about. Do you want to tell us why and what actually happened right at the start as he came out then?
I'm a little never mind.
Disgusted?
No. By the second lollipop.
We're not on the second lollipop. We're on the first one.
He puts baby oil all over him, and then he...
Okay, are you going to answer my question? What happened with the first lollipop?
So he yells, "Who wants my lollipop?" and everybody goes crazy for it. And
everybody went crazy. It was ridiculous.
He gives it to Frank, and then Frank, he chews the gum out of the blow pop till the end of the match. Till the end of the show.
Yeah, everybody went crazy for it. It was really funny. All right, so he's in the ring now. All right, go ahead. So there's baby oil.
He puts baby oil, and then he lifts his trunks up, and then he puts baby oil in his dingo.
And you couldn't see that because he turned around, and you're like, did he do that? I was like, yes, he definitely did that. And that's the thing that I saw on MLW as well, so I certainly knew that. Joey tries to get Harlow to touch it. We got to try and pick we got to talk very carefully how we talk about this one.
Dingo.
And we could do. The crowd actually wanted Harlow to bless it. I think she suggested she could do that.
She said
and the crowd were going.
She brings out the holy water.
It was like, bless it, but the referee said that it was a foreign object, so it got removed. I don't have much for this except for the very ending of this. So anything in the middle, go ahead.
So Harlow O'Hara, she does an atomic drop to Joey Ryan, and then her knee starts hurting, and then you tell me that his dingo was it's made of steel, apparently.
Something like that, yeah. Normally an atomic drop would injure the person, but not Joey Ryan, because that's his super strength, yeah. Mm-hmm. There was another one. Yeah, I got one more that's similar to that. Oh. Harlow, Joey's on the floor. Harlow fell and landed on Joey's privates with her head. And then Harlow grabs her head and starts rolling around the floor for the same reason.
And there's another thing. After the baby oil and the lollipop, the ref says, let's wrestle. And then Joey Ryan says, that's not really one of my strengths.
I think there was one point in this match where we did actually hold up the sign again, like, is it safe to watch again? I can't remember exactly which point it was. It wasn't for very long, because we'd already done it, but I know we did use it again. But I thought this match was just funny more than anything. I thought it was really good. I guess the last part I have is getting towards the second lollipop. But
Joey Ryan, he puts Harlow's hand on his dingo, and then he does like a flip. He makes her do a flip with his dingo.
Correct. That's his famous thing. That's his famous move. Because that was the one that, if you'd seen it before, it would. I think it was better that you didn't know. If you'd seen it before, it would have been like, oh, he's just doing it again. To see it for the first time live, it had to be a surprise. Because there's no way you could have predicted that would have happened. No. It's like a classic clip in like terms of the silliness. Yeah, it's very silly. It's very funny.
And I have a question for the second lollipop.
Okay.
How many times have baby oil gotten on that second lollipop?
That I don't know. And I don't know if it has its wrapper on, and then he just pulls the wrapper off. That I don't know. But yes, the second lollipop. That would make it a little more sanitary. Yes, the second lollipop is in his trunks. Yeah. For the whole match. And I knew that. You obviously didn't know that, but because you were like, the second lollipop. Okay, what happened with this second lollipop then? Normally he tries to put it in the opponent's mouth, and then that's normally how he wins.
And then he puts it in Kris Sharp's mouth.
It went in the ref's mouth. They were sort of fighting, him and Harlow, and they were trying to force it towards each other's mouth. And then it went into Chris's mouth, which Kris solved that brilliantly. I thought that was hilarious. That takes us pretty much to the finish.
Yeah. So he's like distracted with the lollipop. Hara sprays the holy water on him, on his dingo.
And she dips the lollipop in it too.
Oh, she does?
Yeah.
And then she gives him an atomic drop and then a low blow and then wins.
And this time, obviously, the holy water neutralized his powers, and this time it had the normal effect that it would have on a wrestler.
Let's just hope it wears off.
And we just hope that it wears off as well. And did we hold the please come back sign up for this one?
Yeah.
We must have done. I want to see more of Joey Ryan. It was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, yeah, I did that for Anthony. No, I didn't. Because he's coming back.
We know he's coming back for the... That was kind of tough, remembering. Is it a Commonwealth Cup match? Is it just a regular match? Yeah. But yeah, we know he's coming back for that one. Fantastic. Harlow played a great role in this match as well. I think whoever faces Joey Ryan has to be somebody who's prepared to sell all those little parts, or else it just doesn't work. It worked great. It doesn't have to be an intergender match. It can work equally well if it's male and male match as well. It's still kind of funny as well. I really liked it. I thought he played a really good role. And then finally, that was the intermission. Now, the only problem I had with this was I thought they should have split the Anthony Greene match up and the Joey Ryan match up. I thought that they were both kind of a little similar. They were both brilliant in their own right, but I thought they could have put another match in between just to separate up that naughtiness, shall we say.
Yes.
And they announced the intermission, and Lolo came out and said, you got 6 minutes. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's nowhere near enough time to get that. I was like, and we talked to a few people, and we said, the wrestlers are going to be really upset if they only have 6 minutes to sell their merch, because it was a big crowd. You could barely move. Joey Ryan's line was long again. Anthony Greene's line was really long as well at that point. And we actually had a lot crammed in. It wasn't 6 minutes in the end. I think it was actually longer than 15. I think it was 20 in the end.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about what we did during this?
So we got Kris Statlander's autograph. Then we went over and got Greene. And
all right, well, I want to fill in a bit more details on this. Now, you actually went to the restroom first. Don't we have any stories from the restroom? Normally, we get some of your juicy little bits of gossip, wrestlers you run into, things you overheard. I didn't actually talk to you because we did go to Kris. Anything from that?
No.
Well, that's kind of disappointing. We went to Kris Statlander, and I actually listed on Nova Pros, like, which match are you most looking forward for? And I put Kris Statlander. I'd heard Blade Job Show talk about her. He's seen her up at Beyond. I'd watched a couple of her matches. Really impressive. I saw one at Black Label Pro, I think it was, against a guy. I can't remember his last name. Somebody Bronson, I think it was. Really good as well. I knew it was the alien gimmick. I knew that ahead of time. I knew she does like really quirky things that don't really make sense, but that's because she's an alien. I believe she's from the Andromeda galaxy. Oh, that's the story anyway. And I felt kind of bad for her because she was next to Anthony Greene. Now, after that match, obviously everybody wanted to talk to Anthony Greene, and she was talking to another wrestler. And it was kind of to the side, but I knew that's who the autograph that I wanted from this one. So we did. She wrote also on the autograph to Human Mason, which I thought was really funny. I can't remember what the bottom part said, and I meant to look ahead of time. It was something like, I'm your leader, Kris? Something like that? I don't know. There was something kind of... But I like the little quirkiness on that.
When we got a picture, she put antennas on me.
She did. She lifted her fingers up, put them to the side of your head, and made antennas out of them as well. And I think that was really cool as well. So I love that whole gimmick. And I felt kind of bad for her because her match wasn't even on. So unless you were like us, who knew who Kris Statlander was, that's always tough. When we see wrestlers who are like, I don't know who that is, it's kind of tough to go, oh, I really enjoyed your match, or because they haven't had a match, or trying to get an autograph when you don't even know who they are. So I felt a little sorry for Kris, but anyway, it will all come good a little bit later for that. And before we actually get to the next people you were going to go to, we had so many people wanted to talk to you, Mason. You got absolutely swarmed. I finally got to meet Snack Saber Jr., which was really cool. I've talked to him a lot on Twitter. He's very positive about the podcast. He always listens to us, and that was good to finally meet him, because I wasn't sure. I've seen a few different pictures, and I wasn't quite sure which was him. And we have a few people who talk to us on Twitter, but I don't necessarily know who they are. I could have walked right by them at Nova Pro and not always necessarily realised. So that was cool to see. What else?
We saw Big Gold Belt. We saw J-Lee Photography. We talked to Mikey Banker.
We did. So we are scheduling that. We were supposed to do Are You Smarter Than a 4-year-old with Jackson. Jackson's going to be 5 pretty soon. So it'll be Are You Smarter Than a 5-year-old. I think he said Crab Wrestling's coming up at the end of March. We might actually see him at Nova Pro first. I think I think the next Nova Pro is like March 15th. But we're definitely going to talk to Mikey Banker, do a short interview and do a quiz with him at some point. And Jason as well.
Yes.
Now, you were absolutely spot on. You said he was the commentator at Nova Pro. I'm just not observant with things like that as well. I actually looked back on some of the results and it says commentator Jason Heat. You were absolutely spot on. I guess mostly we sit with our backs to the commentary team, and I guess I just hadn't paid attention at all. And I felt really bad that I didn't recognise him from previous events. I know him now straight away from Flying V Theatre. But that was good. Yeah, so you had a lot of people who were talking to you. I heard a few people say that they liked the podcast during the times, different people we talked to, not just necessarily then, but at the start and at the end, which was really cool. The next autograph we got was Sad. Now, I've been pronouncing it wrong. I've been saying Sadkampf. It sounds like it's Sadkampf.
I thought every time Brian said it, he said Camp, I think.
Oh, well, perhaps it's changed then. I guess it might be one of those tomato things. Yeah. Perhaps it depends on how you say it. Now, I don't know, how we missed Dominic Garini's autograph? We've been going for 18 months now. Dominic Greene is like a big star there. Yeah. He always appears. He has big matches. For some reason, we never got his autograph. Actually, it kind of worked out okay, because we got 2 autographs for the price of 1. We got Dominic Garini's and we got Kevin Koo's as well. We got a picture with you as well, so that all worked out in the end. And that was it. We got some autographs, so I was like, all right, I'm going to go to the car. You went back to your seat. And as we were going out, I ran into referee Chris Sharp. Now, I'd talked to him a couple of days before and mentioned that you spotted him on the Worlds Collide event, the pay-per-view. And he said, hey, I would like to catch up with you guys. And I was like, great. I was like, I knew you'd love to meet a referee, ask him a couple of questions, perhaps get a picture, autograph. And yeah, we did. I put the stuff in the car. He came back in and yeah, he signed your jersey. I think it was WWE
Chris Sharp,
which is really cool. We got a picture and he lifted your arm up which I think is really good. I love that picture.
I have the questions here.
Perfect.
It was, what was the best wrestler you ever reffed? He actually reffed AJ Styles twice in TNA.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I thought that was a great question to ask as well.
Like, how far do you travel in a week? And he said in like a weekend he has Nova Pro. Then he has to go up to North Carolina. North Carolina. Down. And then up to Maryland.
Which is not too bad. They're all close states. We've heard people, and I've seen regularly, people go from Chicago to Nova Pro and then down to Florida, which is obviously a huge distance. So for him, I thought that wasn't too bad, actually. But yes, they obviously still have to travel as well. They still have those same deals to do with as well. And I was kind of getting worried, and I was kind of like, all right, Mason, wrap it up. It's really good that he's agreed to talk to us at all. He's obviously still working, and we know that they're about to stop. He was fantastic. He carried on talking to us. I know he had his job to do as well, but he was really awesome.
Yeah, how long before you ref a match, do you talk to the wrestlers? And he said that, but, like, when he gets there, he looks at the roster, like, who he's, like, reffing, and then he says that he talks to the wrestlers a little bit to see if he should get in the way or move out the way of, like, a jump or...
It was less time than I thought it was. I thought from all the things he would have to talk to him for longer. It sounded like it wasn't that long, actually.
Oh.
Well, I didn't think it sounded that long.
Yeah, it wasn't too long.
No, it wasn't too long at all.
And the other question was, do you change your name? And he said, no, it is Kris Sharp, but some refs do. And he said that before he was a real ref, he was thinking about changing his name, but he didn't. He just left it as himself so he could be himself. And he said some refs do change their name, though.
Yeah, I love that question. I thought that was a great question. I never would have thought of that. Like, we obviously know wrestlers. I'm doubting Jeff Cannonball. I'm guessing his last name is not Cannonball.
Yeah.
And we obviously know some of those are stage names. I'd never even thought about that for refs. I thought that was a fantastic question. And then at that point, they did announce that we're about to start in 30 seconds. So, shook his hand. And yeah, that was just so cool to meet him. I would say we talk to wrestlers. I don't really talk to refs very often, and certainly not a big ref like that who regularly works for WWE. So that was really cool. And actually, it was his birthday. The following day, on the Saturday.
Oh.
So it was only like a few... So by the time Nova Pro had finished, I think it was like 11:30. By the time he would have driven home or driven to where his next thing, it would have actually been his birthday. So he was actually reffing on his birthday. So, match 6, they announced it was Kris Statlander versus Veda Scott, the match I was most excited for. So we had to scramble to get back to our seats before the wrestlers come, otherwise you're kind of stuck. And I slipped on the floor. There was, I don't know what it was like a sheet of something.
It was like the sheet from the flowers.
Yeah, like if it was a flower bud, that would have been fine. And you were like, are you okay? Because I'd injured my ankle recently. I realised afterwards it was my other ankle that went from under me, which was kind of lucky actually, because if it had been my other ankle, can you imagine if I'd have seriously injured my ankle again and I'd been lying on the floor in agony and the wrestlers were partially coming out? I would have been like the star of the show, but for a really bad reason. I wanted to rush back because I wanted to get the Welcome to Nova Pro sign for Kris, because I was really excited to see her, and for the Veda Scott match. So anyway, go ahead. Yeah, I know you're laughing right now. You thought it was hilarious. I was perfectly okay. Look, I'm surprised it didn't hurt. You know, sometimes when they do that, and it's a bit different slipping and getting a suplex onto that solid floor, and you're like, oh, that must hurt. I was fine. Didn't hurt one tiny bit. I guess I can take a bump, but I wouldn't want to take a suplex, that's for sure.
Kris does cartwheels all around the ring, and then she hangs from her knees on the turnbuckle.
You know who that reminded me of?
No.
Bray Wyatt.
Oh yeah.
Obviously a very different type of thing, but he likes to hang upside down and he's like, ugh. She didn't do that, but it looked, I love that whole genre. To try and make it look very weird, not sort of human-like, but I thought that was clever. Yeah, I love the cartwheels around the ring. Veda looked really confused. I think the other thing that sold this match so well was Veda Scott played a huge part of this. She really had to buy into that and let Kris get her moves in and basically put her over as well. But you got to sort of know what the other person's doing as well. She also walked around the ring on her hands as well.
Oh, yeah.
She was very acrobatic. I thought it was good.
I was so into the match, I don't even have anything else.
Do you want to know what my
Except for the thing, Alf.
Do you want to know what my next line says?
Yeah.
I don't have the ending, I was just enjoying the match. I didn't either. I was so into this match. Yeah, I don't have anything for this one as well. Go on, tell us the end then. Tell us what she won, right?
Yes.
I don't remember how she won.
I put my please come back sign up, and then she pointed to it.
She did. And Buff Ref made sure as well. He sort of pointed to make sure we could see it. Yeah, you got to lift your arms up a little higher, although I don't know where that fixed camera is. Yeah,
that's why I didn't want to raise it like
That's fair. That's fair enough. But she definitely saw your sign. Now, actually, when we came home, my iPod, because I don't get the Wi-Fi signal there, when I came back, my Wi-Fi came on, and I looked to see what podcasts I had. Wrestling Perspectives Network had a podcast, and it was 20-25 minutes long, and it was an interview with Kris Statlander. So I finally got to find out a little bit more about her. The reason that she can do all those things is she has a gymnastics background. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, well, that makes perfect sense now. Also, I'd recommend it as well. She knew nothing about wrestling until she started to train to become a wrestler. That's really weird. Normally, you ask them, and they're like, oh, yeah, I watched with my dad and things like that, or I did that. No. Didn't know anything at all until she started to train to become a wrestler. So she's kind of really inexperienced with this. So the rise that she's had, I know she might not be known by everybody, but certainly on the independent scene, Blade Job raved about her. The matches I saw, I would tell anyone who would listen, she's really good. And I haven't seen anything to dissuade myself from that opinion. If anything, the match I saw at Nova Pro was not as good as the ones that I'd seen online on independent TV as well. So, and the fact also, you didn't just hold up the sign that said, please come back. The crowd cheered as well, please come back as well. So that's one I would love to see Kris Statlander come back. I definitely think she's one on my radar now. If I see like her matches on independent TV, I'm definitely going to be looking to see those. Match 7 was Sadkampf Sadkampf, whatever, versus Arik Royal and a mystery partner. Ooh. All right, Mason.
It's Faye Jack. Just kidding.
No, it's not. She wasn't there. She was wrestling somewhere else. I did see, but I can't remember where it was. I think I asked you for a prediction ahead of time.
I said Kerminator, and then
you said Kerminator, and I was like, he's already in a match. I said Faye Jackson, and then she was wrestling somewhere else. So we didn't do very good on that at all. And the person who it was, you could have given me 100 guesses, and I wouldn't have said this person.
It was Savage Gentleman.
It was. Victor Benjamin came out.
Yeah.
Now, he offered his services. And he basically said, like, Arik, you're number 1. Like, I'm number 2. Why wouldn't you want us to wrestle again? And Arik asked the crowd, like, do you think I should re with him? And I was like, no! I was shaking my head at him. And I guess he didn't have a partner, though. Which is kind of weird.
Just saying, wouldn't your partner why would you agree to that if you already had a partner?
And that was the thing. He obviously didn't have a partner. And if you got a tag team match, why wouldn't you have a partner? There was a few little storyline things that didn't quite fit together there. And anyway, in the end, it was basically like, well, if you're going to tag with me, go and stand on the apron. Let's get going. So he did. Somebody from the crowd shouted to him, this is going to end badly. And then somebody agreed with that. Now, they didn't make that clear, though. Who's that going to end badly for? Arik? Because he's teaming with Victor Benjamin, who were rivals on the Torneo Cybernetico, which was really strange. And they had a singles match as well, I seem to remember as well.
Yes, they did.
It was really strange they'd want to pair together anyway.
And
or is it going to end badly for Sadkampf?
And another thing was, Savage Gentleman said to Kevin Q, are you just gonna sit in the corner and catch your breath, or are you gonna fight me? And then Q said, I'm just gonna sit in the corner and catch my breath.
I thought that was good. I like that.
Greene, he made a tag group with his, jiu-jitsu belt. And, Savage Gentleman made one with, Arik Royal made one with Savage Gentleman's belt. Mm-hmm. And they both had tag ropes, but Gentleman's belt is longer than,
a real tag
well,
rope, yeah.
kind of no. It was because it was, around his waist and his back. It went all the way over. So it would be twice the size of Greene's waist, so.
There was a little while into the match, I think they'd already tagged in once or twice. Arik came in, he just unleashed on everybody. Now, there were some brutal hits in this match. It was very hard hitting, and I would expect that from Sadkampf. That didn't surprise me at all, and Arik as well, actually, for that one. And it made us take us back. We're on our 1-year anniversary. Mason, our very first episode was actually Nova Pro, almost a year to the date. And we actually talked about it on our regular MGB episode. I'm going to give you the quote again. We had our tweet of the week originally. Tom Lawler broke his arm clotheslining Dominic Greene. So Dominic Greene is in this match, but it just shows you how we still don't understand that. I really need to find that clip. But yeah, all these guys are really, really hard hitting. And, what else do I have for this one? Oh, there was a double team on Victor Benjamin. Arik breaks up the pin attempt at 2.
I only have something after the match.
Okay, there was a double sleeper move, first on Victor Benjamin and then also on Arik Royal, which they managed to get out of. Victor kicks out at 2. But in the end, Greene pinned Arik Royal. Kevin Q actually kicked Victor Benjamin out of the ring, or he basically stopped him from getting in the ring to break it up. Okay, end of the match.
I forgot something. Okay. I'm so glad you didn't, say something about the face jam.
Arik wasn't on the outside. If he was on the outside, I was going to ask him about that.
No, he actually did a face jam.
Oh, he did? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to ask him if he liked Space Jam. Matt said he'll ask him at WrestleMania. I don't know if I can wait that long for that answer. And even if he says yes, I'm going to ask him, is it because he does face jams?
No, you're not. You slipped.
Alright, you're not saying anything, so I'm going to keep going. Victor Benjamin suggests they be a team. He offers them a hand up. Arik doesn't take it, and then Victor Benjamin turns on Arik, and he says, I'm the ace of Nova Pro now. Alright, what else you got, Mason? That's it. Hey. You don't have anything now. Alright, I have some quotes though. At Scott Nickmore. At Real Savage Gent was killer tonight at VA Wrestling. I think he might have removed the face of the ace with that kick. I like that phrase, face of the ace. See, you like that. That's a rhyming one, right? Mm-hmm. Is that because you like Space Jam? And future storylines as well. I'm wondering what's gonna... I didn't touch...
stabbed myself with a cat's nail.
I'd say for the benefit of the tape, I didn't touch him, I promise. I wondered about future storylines. As obviously as he turned on him now, they've already had that rivalry though. Mm-hmm. They already had the Cybernetico tournament where they were opposites. They then fought each other as singles. where is it going now? I was kind of confused by that whole storyline at the end. Also for this one, the @Nats Captain Obvious person, he was holding signs up about the Penguins. Oh. I forgot, Victor Benjamin, remember he's got the Mario Lemieux tattoo, he's got the Pittsburgh Steelers tattoo. So Captain Obvious is obviously a huge Capitals fan as well. So he was making fun of Savage Gentleman for being a Penguins fan. Lolo actually tweeted out, I don't think nobody could figure out what was going on. I certainly didn't even notice that. A few other people said, oh, I knew what was going on.
I could see that he had the tattoo on him, I just didn't.
And I saw that in reference to the Stanley Cup, but I didn't even figure out why he was holding it up. It just seemed like a random sign, and I'd totally forgotten that. Anyway, Savage Gentleman tweeted, it was disrespectful and classless, just like the team he is enamored with. So he actually even responded to it on Twitter a little bit later. Alright, match 8 was Breaux Keller versus Bobby Shields. Now, I realised I forgot to check in with the Ugly Ducklings to record a sound clip that we've actually already heard earlier. So I went to check to see if they were there. Rob and Lance weren't there, but I said, hey, I'll check in with you guys later. I got a drink from concessions, and I caught up with Sean, who was at the back, because I hadn't talked to him for a while. So that means that all of this is you, Mason, because I had nothing. The only thing I did see, it looked like there was a partial suicide dive or something. It looked like you nearly got crashed into. But that's as far as I can tell. Alright.
On my notes pad, it says in capital letters, "Bro, shave your mustache." And Zach,
you said that he didn't have. I said he has a mustache. You could see it on the video that he did, and I didn't like it. You didn't like it.
I didn't like it. Zach calls it a dad stash.
I think he said that something like such and such are not welcome back to Nova Pro, and neither is Breaux Keller's mustache. Or something to that effect. But no, I wasn't a big fan of it.
He said Steve Manders.
Oh, Steve Manders, that was it. Yeah, his mustache was very different as well. Yeah, those are not welcome back.
So, Breaux, he's on the outside, and he uses his knees to try and jump on Bobby Shields, and he misses, so his knees go on the apron. That really has to hurt.
Huh?
And Bobby tries to kick Breaux's, his dingo, but he catches it, and then he kicks him.
He catches his dingo?
No! No!
Joey Ryan match again. I'm sorry, Mason. I don't have anything, so I can't interrupt you. You gotta do this whole segment.
He catches his foot.
Oh, there we go.
Kicking his dingo.
Oh.
He didn't catch his dingo. He didn't jump off. I think, Breaux wins, and Bobby shakes Breaux's hand, and then Bobby spits at me.
He did?
Yeah.
I thought he kicked him in the dingo again as well.
No, he spits at me.
Why?
And, I don't know. And, you and Zach left at that point, and Maddie told me to write it down, too. Maddie saw it.
What?
Maddie saw it.
All right, okay. Well, I wish I had talked to Maddie ahead of time, because I would have liked a bit more details on this as we were recording. So, Bobby Shields was in the ring. He came over to your side of the ring.
He was not, yeah, he was.
And he looked at you, and he spat at you.
Yeah.
What the heck?
You can ask Maddie.
I have seen people on Twitter. There was an instant where a wrestler spat at somebody, and he got like thousands of comments, and like, what the heck? This is totally. Whoa. Did you say something to Bobby? Did he spit at you, or was it just in your direction?
He looked at me, and then he just spits at me. I don't know why.
Okay, where did the spit go?
It went a little bit in front of me.
A little bit in front of you?
Yeah, it didn't hit me. But he was just looking at me.
Whoa. Alright, when we do our regular MGB, sometimes we put things that we missed in the episode. I want to talk to Maddie. I want to see if we can get any more details on that. But perhaps at the start of the B2, we can actually talk about what happened with that. Because you didn't mention it on the car ride home. Normally we talk about different things.
I told you when you sat down.
Oh, I'm deaf. And I was ready for the next match. I had to scoot back in quick because otherwise...
You didn't want to slip.
If you don't get into your seat on the front row, you're not getting there until the next match. So I wanted to get back. And also I knew Alley Cat was coming out as well. So I was like, I definitely want to see this. Alright, match 9. Alley Cat versus Terra Calaway. I'm not sure. I definitely threw streamers at this one. I'm not sure if I did any for any of the earlier matches. We know Alley Cat likes to play with them.
I think I threw something. I threw
something? I hope it was a streamer.
No, I threw one at the Ugly Ducklings.
Oh, okay. And I must have thrown one as well, but I can't remember which match it was. But probably. was it? I don't think I threw one for Kris because I was trying to get back up on my seat after falling over and getting the sign out, and I don't think I had the chance to do that.
That should be like a GIF.
Didn't somebody say that they filmed that on independent TV?
No, I did.
Oh, you said. So
I said
somebody
they have
saw me?
No, there's a camera there.
Oh, from behind.
Yeah,
okay, well, no one's
but you're lucky because they were probably the other camera staring at us.
At the entrance.
Yeah.
You're right.
You're
so
lucky.
Whew.
That shit, I would have made that. I would have
that would have been your number one moment.
No, that would have been a gift.
Mm-hmm. Send it into America's Funniest Videos as well.
Yeah.
Now, actually, as Alley Cat walked out, I missed a part. She lets you pet her hair now, like the cat. She sort of leans her hair in. She skipped us because there was stuff on the floor and she didn't want to slip. Which was
it was because she was talking to the camera. Follow hashtag something meow die now.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I did see she changed her Twitter name today.
Yeah, that's probably why she said that. Hashtag
This
meow.
is 2 days before, though. I think you got the timelines mixed up a little bit.
Hashtag something.
Oh, okay. And I knew that she did that because I saw it on a recent independent wrestling TV thing, so I knew that. And Terra comes in. She's got a dino helmet on.
I throw a streamer to Alley Cat, and it stayed on the ring apron the whole match.
Oh, it did. There was a lot of streamers for this one.
She put it in her mouth after the match.
She did, yeah. Because you said, "Hey, look, it's still on the ring." I was like, "Oh yeah," and then she had it in her mouth later. So yeah. All right. What about the actual match itself, though? All me?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So after you did the last one, you let me do all this one.
Yeah.
I had Allie up on the top rope and she was sort of holding on with her arms and she sort of thrust her feet out to try and kick Terra. And Terra grabbed her legs and went, well, that was dumb. I love Terra when she does those little moments like that. It's like, what are you thinking? Like, that's not going to work. And she basically just grabbed her legs and went, whoosh, and just yanked her straight to the ground for the slam. After that, Allie started to get some domination going, and she starts headbutting the side of the ring to get her all fired up. She kicks Terra several times, and finally brings her down with a kick to the leg. I think that's the way to go with Terra Calaway. She doesn't... Remember when Brittany Blake ran into her and nothing happened? You got to kick her legs. You got to bring her down to the floor. I do know there was also... I didn't write this down. I'm trying to remember. There would look like there was going to be a suicide dive towards us, and she did a scaredy cat thing again. So she didn't actually come to the side. Now, I've got to make sure I got this part right. You're not going to understand this one at all, Mason. There's a Seinfeld episode, which I don't even know if you know what Seinfeld is. It's a comedy show from the 90s. And Jerry always talks about thinking of jokes in the night. He wakes up and then he goes back to sleep and he forgets them. So he starts to write them down in a notepad. And then he shows you on the show. He wakes up and he's like, oh, writes the joke down, then goes back to sleep. And then when he wakes up in the morning, he's like, what? What is that word? He's like, is that like a G? He has no idea what it says. I have one of those moments as well. I looked at my pad and it says, fake Joey Ryan spot and Alley Cat wins. I have no idea what that means. I obviously know Joey. I'm trying to think of Joey Ryan. How does that link in with this match? Do you have any idea? I obviously understand Alley Cat wins. Fake Joey Ryan spot. All right, you're blinking at me. I don't know if that's Morse code for no. All right, no, I don't know either. And that's all I have for this one. So shall we move on to the main event?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. If you figure out what that is, I guess you can tweet us at MGB Wrestling Pod, or probably me instead, at Mr. Bagshaw. Hey, this is what it actually meant. Match 9, Logan, Easton, Laroux versus Alexander James to decide if Alexander James gets to stay at Nova Pro.
I have a couple things because I was really into the match.
All right, well, let me begin the start then. A woman threw a streamer when Logan was in there, and it went right across his face, and he was upset.
Oh, yeah.
He grabbed the streamer, and then just as he was about to do something...
It was a man that threw the streamer.
No, it wasn't. It was a woman. Alexander James came in, so he sort of got out of the ring. He walked around the front of the ring where we were, got it, lined up, brings his arm back, launches it, hit the wrong woman, 2 people across, right in the nose, right in the face, and then starts yelling at the other woman. I was like, oh my gosh, this is getting a little bit serious. And actually later in the match, he threw one that nearly hit Maddie in the face as well.
Yeah, that was...
And he was like, whoosh, right, but I was like, oh my gosh, he was really on his heel mode on this match. Let me see what else I got. Oh, actual match. Go ahead. I got a few things, so I'll fill in what you got to say.
Alexander James does his submission on Logan, and it looks like it really hurts.
Sure. Oh, that's it? Oh my gosh. Logan made they keep calling him AJ, so I'm going to refer to him as AJ as well. Logan had him in a submission move and lifted his finger up and made him do a 1%, which I thought was brilliant. I thought that was a great heel move. Logan, of course, does his regular 1%, and people say suck, and some people like it and some people don't. Oh, also he was antagonising as well. Come on, AJ, you're done in the 1%, as Logan just keeps hitting him. There was a big clothesline from AJ in response to that. Also for this one, Buff Ref accidentally knocked out the ring by AJ, and Logan pins him, but there's no ref. So you're like, oh, okay, this is good. Ref Chris Sharp came out though, but a kick out at 2, even though it was probably a pin for like 10 or something. And then AJ actually did win. So he gets to stay at Nova Pro, but you're pointing at me because you want to steal the last bit, so go ahead.
Buff Ref, he stays under the ring for like 10 minutes after the show.
He was there for a while, wasn't he? Because Maddie asked him, are you okay? Is it his name Todd?
Todd.
He's like, Todd, are you okay? he sort of lay there for a little bit. He had a tough weekend. He also got took out at, let me see, I wasn't going to mention this straight away, Primal Conflict in West Virginia. I saw somebody, I saw at Childish Tycoon post a video of, and it looked kind of like the Hooligans, but I'm not sure. It looked like he jumped on his back. And I was like, oh! So I asked, where was it? He said Primal Conflict. So that's another one where the 1% like to hang out, because Logan goes there as well. So yeah, Buff Ref had a really tough week for this one. Alright, what happened after the match? Sadkampf came in, and Dominic Greene and Kevin Q both took out AJ Styles. So we're not sure.
AJ Styles?
I got AJ written down here, and then I forgot what I was talking about. If you got Kevin Q, you got Dominic Greene, you got Logan, that's pretty tough. Gunnar Miller when he comes back as well. If he comes back. Yeah. I actually saw on Facebook, it was a year ago that you got your picture with him.
Oh.
And it was that, the artwork that had it, the corporate captain, and we got a picture with that. And he's doing the C with his hand. So I actually asked, I mentioned on Twitter that it would have been a year since. So I said, we were kind of hoping he came into that match. I talked about it. I said, he could come back in this match. It's been a long time. But I did ask him, I said, I hope you're doing okay, and we hope to see you soon, sort of thing. Didn't get a response. He hasn't posted anything on Twitter in like 8 months. So I guess he's recovering now. Might be doing something different. Might not be wrestling anymore. Don't know. Not sure. Okay, after the very last match, we have a few little bits of things that did happen. Do you remember what happened after the match? Is everyone's leaving? They're taking the ring away?
We see, the Ugly Ducklings.
We did. We went to the Ugly Ducklings. We got them to record the promo for us that we've already talked about and you've heard earlier in the section. I also bought a couple of things for, I don't know if he's around, I bought some things for Jackson for his birthday. And we got him an autographed picture and we got him a duck whistle as well. So we got a few things from them as well.
Just amplify the sound.
No, because then it would sound like normal talk and it would make the point that I was just whispering that. That's the whole point. But I'll make sure he can't hear. And they also did a special birthday promo for him as well, which is, those guys are so cool. He's going to love that.
Oh yeah, I looked behind me and then I see the backstage curtain taking down, and then you could see Logan and AJ in the back sitting next to each other.
I saw that as well, yeah. Yeah, I saw that too. I didn't realise that was they took the curtain down. I just thought they were sat next to each other. All right, a few things to wrap this up, Mason, then. At the _letter_B. It's been almost 30 years since I've been to a live wrestling show. And tonight at VA Wrestling makes a dream happen again. I think the guy said he was 37. So I think it'd been like, last time he went was when he was 7 years old. What a match to go to. If you haven't been to a wrestling match in 30 years, I think you're going to be surprised at how good those are. I remember when we went to that first independent match, I hadn't been since I was a little kid. I'd been to WWE. I was so impressed. I have a feeling he'll probably be coming back. What a great show. And also from at VA Wrestling, we'd like to thank all the fans for making last night a huge success. At the end of the day, it was the second largest crowd in company history. We hope to see you all, new fans and old, on March 9th for Calling All Girls, and again on March 30th at the Old Ox Brewery.
The first is Commonwealth Cup, right?
Calling All Girls, no.
No.
Commonwealth Cup's not till June.
No, the biggest crowd.
Oh, biggest crowd?
Probably
not sure. I'm not sure if they had it all together for something like that. But yeah, it was packed. I loved it. It's great for the wrestlers. If they were making a lot more money from the merch than perhaps what you would on a regular event with so many people being there. And trying to get pictures was tough as well. Like, we were trying to get a picture with Sadkampf, and Ricky was there with the Platinum Honeys, and they had to sort of move around. And when we took a picture with you and Ref Chris Sharp, Heels Mahoney actually photobombed the picture, totally unintentionally. I think he was taking a picture with Joey Ryan. But it was busy. It was great. I got no complaints at all. I think the atmosphere is better when there's more people there. You definitely get the chants as well, and the clapping along with it, and you get I think it just works really well when you have that many people there. I think that does it for me. Anything you wanted to add in at the end?
Goodbye.
Okay, that does it for me. We normally talk about food. We just stopped at Wendy's, right?
Yeah.
4 for 4.
I ate a
That's pretty
whole
solid.
4 for 4, and I got 5 nuggets.
You did. You got a bonus nugget. Yeah, you said you were starving, so we stopped off at Wendy's, and at least we know that place is open now. So I think that might be our regular when we go to the Annandale Fire Department.
Than you.
You did, because you got an extra nugget. Well, it could have been they were smaller nuggets, which is why they gave you an extra one. I don't know. You're pulling the face. I don't know.
No,
I got no idea
they
at all.
would be.
All right, I think that does it for us. All right, bye.
It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
Goodbye.
The music was Zigzag by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0, http://creativecommons.org/licenses/by/3.0/.